well, and they believe in what we're doing, and these things need to be realized. You know, I think the community has a great ownership in this structure now, based on how it was built and the whole deal here. I've got spec sheets on all of everything that went in to build this, but I thought I was going to speak after Gary, but I'm going to leave that up to him, because I want him to revel in all of the victory that we have here behind us. So that's just my main message is I want to thank everybody for being involved in all of the different efforts that culminated in this beautiful structure we have behind us, and I'm looking forward to standing in front of the next one and celebrating that as well. So thank you all once again for coming out.
Thanks so much, Joey, and right back at you. And sorry for calling you out of order. I'll call up Gary Murphy next, and I can only say again that what these guys have done, his entire team, is really amazing. As I watched it go up, I thought, wow. Wow, that's all I could really say. So I want to call up Gary Murphy.
Well, I want to thank Yvette and Joey with Art in Motion and all the other folks that really have a vision for Lexington that things like this can happen. And I also want to thank the team that we worked directly with, Lance from UK, Joey from the city, Jill from LexTran, and Claudia from the Neighborhood Association for really having faith in us that we could pull this off. Prajna is a local design build company. We're all graduates from the University of Kentucky, and we've been building all sorts of projects and sizes of projects around Lexington since the mid-'80s. But this one was special to us for a couple of different reasons. First, it was an open design competition. While we didn't see any of the other submissions, we know some of the folks who gave proposals, and we know how talented they are. And, so it was a real honor to be selected. Secondly, it was a community project, literally on the street here. You know, we've done some commercial work where people see it, but most of our work is residential stuff, you know, a little more hidden, a little more secluded. And this was just a chance to build something that anybody could use and that the community could take ownership in. And it also was kind of an environmental art that combined architecture and building and craftsmanship, and that's exactly what we love doing. But in Garden Stop, you can see that we incorporated living plants. It's in the structure and around the structure and on the structure, and that was with the help of John and Claudia from Mickler's Greenhouses, and Todd and Cynthia Kelly from Kelly Nurseries. And we wanted to build a place that had a few spaces that you could get out of the rain, wait for the bus, and also serve as a little relief on a busy street. And we tried to build it in a most sustainable way as we could. And to that end, the materials we used, we tried to use materials that were recycled, like the crushed concrete and paving that we use for backfill and drainage. We tried to use materials that had a high recycled content, like the steel and the copper. Both are virtually 100% recycled. We also tried to use materials that were local. One of the walls is made out of sassafras on one side and red locust on the other. You know, we live in an area and kind of blessed that we have all these varieties of trees and lumbers that a lot of people don't have, and we wanted to let people see some of those that we seldom see. And we also tried to use as many reclaimed or salvaged materials as possible, like the cypress wall panel that's made from bourbon vats from a distillery in Lawrenceburg, or the white oak paneling and the white oak bench that came from a barn we dismantled in Franklin County a few years ago. And that we also used some dark green poplar for a frame of one of those walls that came from a building on North Upper Street that was recently demolished, and people know it as Morton's Row. And on the ceiling, you can see that we used old tongue and groove from various houses that were salvaged, and again some metal roofing from that same barn in Franklin County. I think all those things add a richness and texture to the project, and I hope you all enjoy that. This was really a community project on so many levels. For us, we got a chance to work with craftsmen and artists that we have relationships for, and we also got the opportunity to meet with new folks and work with them on this project. And as been mentioned, we had a lot of people donate materials and time to this project, and I'd like to read off a list of those folks. Kelly Nursery, Grant Logan Copper, Janelle Concrete, Congelman Lumber, Harrod Concrete, Mickler's Garden and Greenhouses, Quickset Fasteners, Land Design, C&R Asphalt, BFMJ Engineers, Diversified Demolition, Heck Glass, Perspectives, Lexington Cut Stone, Kentucky Ornamental Iron, Old Castle Precast, Hugh Lighting, Michael Maxim, Clay Ingalls, Weston Solutions, and Salvage Nation. So you see it's a small structure, a small project, but a pretty large community that contributed to it. And the last thing I'd like to do is introduce the rest of the people who make up Prajna Design and Construction, and all worked so hard to make this possible. So maybe you guys can raise your hand or identify yourself. David Whitmer, Mike Russell, Jay Moorhead, Andy McCord, and Mary Murphy. If you have any questions, any of these folks would be glad to answer them and talk to you about this. Thank you guys for coming out.
Before we wrap things up today, I would just like to echo the sentiments of everyone else. We really couldn't have done this without so many partnerships in the community. I travel along Euclid to go home a lot, and it's been really interesting to see this project from start to finish. It's really exciting, and it's one of our most unique shelters with incorporating the living plants. And while I have you here as a captive audience, I'm going to give you a little plug for something else. The next big event, I think, in Lexington is WEG, that starts this weekend. And if you're looking for a way to get to the horse park, I hope you will consider riding the LexTran shuttle that leaves from downtown every day. Typically, the first bus will start by 6 a.m. and it's the cheapest, most efficient way to get to the horse park. And if you have any questions, please feel free. I don't know if we can get you there that fast. But if you have any questions about getting out there, please feel free to see one of us.
Does it leave every half hour?
Yes, Yvette asked a question. It leaves every half hour, on the hour, and at the half hour from downtown at the Transit Center. Thank you again for coming, and hope you guys have a great afternoon.